You're watching the Original Music Atlanta podcast.
How you guys doing?
We're doing good, man.
Pretty
It's
good.
a Sunday afternoon.
Sure.
It's nice and sunny outside.
Yeah, beautiful day here in Atlanta. I did notice a bit of pollen starting to kick up, so I'm going to enjoy that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
my name's Raymond Hems. I play with Hope Sanker and Giza Is Gone. I got Rick Gathman here with me. He also plays in Giza Is Gone with me. What are your guys' names, and what do you play in the band?
I'm Colt Coates, and I play rhythm guitar and do the lead vocals.
And I'm Tyler Hall, and I play bass.
Beautiful. No, they don't give you a mic, Tyler?
No,
No.
I just got a straight.
Yeah, it's funny. None of my bands give me mics either. They don't let me talk during shows. I don't understand.
Yeah.
So, how many piece band is it?
So it's a 4-piece band, and we've been recording with backup singers lately. Everything that you've been hearing on the recordings. So we're hoping to turn it into a 6-piece band.
Oh, wow.
Sooner than later, with adding a couple chicks to the mix.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think you can never go wrong with like the 3 backup singer girls just doing the BGVs and killing it.
Oh, yeah.
It's always a hit, especially with
Yeah.
that, what I just heard, which will be played again. It's moody.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got that moody groove, like,
Yeah,
Moody-
that's
you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
good. Yeah. And,
All right.
and some female vocal and eye candy on stage will definitely work well with that.
So
yeah.
when you add players like this to the band, how do you I mean, we're all original artists, and we're all creating stuff from thin air musically, and original music doesn't tend to pay the bills, as they say. So when you bring in people like that, are you just paying them out of your pocket, or is it the kind of thing like I do, where people get paid on my stage and I don't?
Sometimes that's the case, but everybody in the band, like the core members, I mean, we all have an agreement that, it's a labor of love. Whatever we do get paid, which is usually not much. Sometimes we divide it up. Sometimes it goes to paying for other stuff that we need. But really, when it comes to original music, you got to just believe in the music and believe that at some form or another you'll get satisfaction from it, whether it's crowd response or pay or whatever it is. But as far as like using backup singers, I have paid backup singers before, but usually they're original artists as well, and they love music, and they might be used to the corporate band thing, but once they come get with us, they kind of have like a sense of, they're writing their own music, and I think my voice can be a little bit heard, and they usually do it because they love the music and want to play, and we'll do it for free.
Yeah.
So
So give us a little background on the band. How long have you guys been a band? And
Hold on real quick.
yeah, go ahead.
I think you just gave us a really good pointer.
What? Ask people to play?
No, not ask them
sing?
to play for free, but it's something we'll talk about later, I suppose. Go,
Well,
onward.
Yeah,
sorry.
give us a
Good
little
point,
background.
and I appreciate hearing what you just said.
Give us a little background on the band name and how long you guys been together, and the other members of the band. We should probably know their name, huh?
yeah. Well, we got a guitar player, which is my brother, and he lives in Virginia, way up in the mountains, with no cell phone service, no internet up there hardly, and no nothing. It's
Love
just
it.
yeah, up there in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains, the Appalachian Mountains running up there. We're all from there, and then the drummer is from Alabama,
Wow.
and he's working. But yeah, as far as the band name, honestly, it came out of an old Native American medicine man book.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
You know what? As we're sitting here talking now, I totally remember seeing your set last year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, I believe I remember a Dreamcatcher earring.
Yeah. probably.
Maybe you probably saw something Native American-esque.
Yes.
I was either wearing feathers in my hair or had face paint or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, and
Yeah.
I remembered last year going, man, these guys, great sound, great sound. And how long have you been a band together?
You guys have probably going like 5, 6 years. I've been around for like 4 of those years.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We've known each other for a long time.
Yeah.
Like we all grew up in Virginia, me, Tyler, and my brother.
Yeah.
All grew up in Virginia, and we knew each other since we were like preteens, I guess.
Oh,
And
nah, a little later.
was it?
Like 17.
You were like
probably.
13,
Yeah,
dude.
you're crazy. I've literally met you when you were 17 for sure.
Was I 17?
For sure.
I thought you were like
Mason was
13.
15, so
Mason, okay, so all
But-
right, yeah. So I guess we were teens.
And
Yeah.
was that like, did you have a high school band? What was the name of your first band? We've talked about this with other bands. Like, what was your first band name?
You're my enemy.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
it used to be a metal band, like screamo metal.
Yeah,
Then we,
Everybody says that after what their name was.
yeah, yeah.
Well, I grew up playing drums for my dad's blues band. He's in a really cool band called CC Coates Band. He also does original music, and he's actually come down here and played in Atlanta a couple times. He played Mad Life with us,
Nice.
and he does blues. And so I grew up playing drums with him since I was just a kid, in elementary school, 10 years old, 11 years old. And I guess that was technically my first band. What about you?
Gotcha.
What was your first band?
Well, my first band was probably still with him and his brother, but it was called the Nightlife.
Okay.
Like, kind of like dance, like genre bending, kind of more like jammy stuff, like
Yeah.
play like little festivals and stuff like that.
Yeah. So you guys are guys after my own heart. I grew up in the not in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Appalachian Mountains, but in the Appalachian Mountains. I grew up in Boone, North Carolina.
Oh yeah.
And,
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I know exactly what you're talking about. Hiking around in the woods and finding a spring head and drinking straight out of the earth. It was
Yep. Yeah, I've
clean,
done that.
cold water. It was amazing.
Oh yeah.
Amazing. But I don't know if it was like me. I didn't have. We had one channel of TV that you can pick up in the mountains. So that's
Yeah.
how I got really into music because. There wasn't much else to do other than dirt bikes, chop wood, and do those types of things. How did you guys get started playing music and becoming the musicians that you are now?
Well, for me, and I guess I can speak on behalf of my brother because we grew up in the same house. My dad was a player. He had his band, and he was playing gigs when we were babies. My dad was a single parent, and so when we were just little kids, little toddlers, he would load us in the truck and he would take us to the bar or to
Love
the
it.
gig or whatever and make us a little pallet and of shirts and quilts, and we'd fall asleep and he would play the gig till 1, 2 in the morning, and then he'd throw us in the truck and we'd go home, and it just rubbed off. I guess I started playing drums as my first instrument, and then I got in a band playing drums, and I got sick of not being able to communicate with the other musicians. So I learned guitar and bass. But what about you?
Is that the trick?
Yeah, get out from behind.
It's
the
funny
kit.
how everybody started with the opposite. I started with guitar, ended up as a drummer. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
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 Go-
And Tyler,
sorry.
Tyler, how did you get going? How did you get started?
Just a typical bedroom guitar player for a long time until I was about 17 and bumped into these guys. And they had a drummer and they had a guitar player, but they didn't have a bass player. So I just hopped on the bass and honestly loved it more than playing guitar. So I was like, this is pretty tight. I'm going to do this.
Well, I do remember from last year's set that you guys are talented dudes. How would you guys describe the Cure My Enemies sound currently, 2023?
We usually tell people it's soul rock. Like if John Mayer got a little bit heavier.
Yeah.
But my brother has been really influenced by Polyphia lately.
Oh wow, Tim
And a
Henderson,
super-
right?
Huh?
Tim Henderson, I think is.
Yeah, Tim Henderson and
Yeah.
all that. He's like, we wrote this song recently that has kind of a fairly modern sound to it, and it's got Polyphia influence. And I'm thinking that, you know, we'll probably get away from the soul bluesy thing, the moody, soulful bluesy thing, and try to go more towards like a modern sound. Of course, that's what we have been listening to. So I guess it's, we're going to try to make it rub off. So
I like that. I like that. And that's also the beautiful thing about being original artists is that you can morph.
yeah,
As an independent artist, as we all tend to be, there's nobody telling us, you got to write something like, it's got to sound like Billie Eilish to be a hit.
Right.
No, we're gonna play whatever we want to play, and
Yeah.
and make it the best thing that we can make it.
yeah, yeah. And that's the thing. And it's just like, yeah, I've always wanted to be, well, I look up a lot to John Mayer, and one of the things that he says is like, I don't care what I'm playing. I just want to be listenable.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really good goal to shoot for when you're writing songs. And like, don't get me wrong, I love Polyphia.
Yeah.
But sometimes to me, they're not listenable.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it can be too much. Sometimes you need silence, space. Sometimes you need to let the audience think for themselves instead of cramming,
It's a good
cramming
point.
the music all the time into their brain. Just sit back, give it a rest, like be listenable, whatever that means to you or to anybody. I think that's always a good thing to shoot for if you're original artist.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that.
What kind of places around Atlanta have you played? Are there?
How long have you been here in Atlanta as well?
A few years, 6 years, 5 years, 6 years.
About 6 years probably.
Yeah, as a band. Now we came down here once before, and then I couldn't make it work. It just kind of dwindled, and went back up to Virginia for a few years, and then came back down here again, and then started, this band Cure My Enemy, and kind of kept it going, or, but I guess we've been a band for a few years. Yeah, I can't remember the question.
I can't. I
Just
hear you.
places to play.
Yeah,
you
place-
know, if-
venues.
places to play.
Venues.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
as an original band, I like it when you come down. Are you trying to get national? Opening for national bands? Are you trying to? Obviously you're talented enough, and the music is there.
Oh, thanks, man. That's the dream. That's what we want to do. And for a long time, I've been ashamed to admit that, because I didn't want anybody to look at me and be like, "Oh, it's a pipe dream. Don't,
Well, we've
Get a
all
real
heard that,
job.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah." But that's the goal, man. And we have a plan of how we try to execute things. We haven't officially released any music. The music that you heard
Mhm.
is actually unreleased music, and it will be our first releases. And once we release that music and get, kind of start executing our plan of content and releases, then we'll probably ask for some help.
Yeah.
From certain people
Some
in the
management, some
yeah, and that's probably what the goal is. But we've played a few places. We played Mad Life a few weeks
Oh,
ago.
did
Mad
you
Life
really?
up in Woodstock. Yeah,
Yep.
we played there a few times.
Who
we've
did you
done
play with? Were you by
Bar.
yourselves or what?
No, it was us and Adrian Stover and Kings Peak.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, so you did the live show, local live original thing that they just started
Yeah.
doing.
Breaking bands.
Yeah, Breaking Bands. That's what was it.
Yeah, Breaking Bands. Yep, we did that, and that was cool. We've played there also with Moses Mo, and then I booked my dad a show
He's
there,
great.
and so it was Cure My Enemy and my dad, CC Coates band, and then Moses Mo, and that was really cool because it was my dad's birthday,
Awesome.
and he was like, "Oh my gosh, it's Moses Mo! I can't believe I'm playing a show with Moses Mo."
Yeah.
I tried to sneak into Guilford College when they were rehearsing up there when I was 16, and they
Yeah.
kicked me out back in the whatever.
Yeah.
And it was pretty cool. But we played there. We've before Tyler was in the band, we played the Masquerade once. That was fun.
The new one or old one?
The new one.
Okay.
Yeah. Which room?
And,
Yeah. Which one?
it was the smallest one.
Purgatory.
I think so.
I think there's hell, there's purgatory, and
Yeah.
heaven, obviously.
We've done Center Stage. We've done the Vista
Oh,
Room.
that's a good
We've
one.
never played Eddie's
Wow.
Attic. I've always wanted to do that one.
Yeah. Smith's Old Bar is another good one.
Yeah,
Hold on,
Smith's Old
back up
Bar,
to
we
center
played there.
stage. Who did you play with there?
Oh, geez. I've played there a couple of times. One time without Tyler.
That's a huge venue. I mean, that's a.
Yeah. Was it Center Stage or the Loft or?
It was the Loft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It
All
was
right.
the Loft. Yeah, and or Vinyl, I guess. Yeah, whatever. it's
I
called.
got you. Yeah. I played
But
there.
we played with Royal Turns, the Royal Turns there,
Hmm.
and then we played with the Pussy Willows, I believe. Yeah,
Nice.
it was the
That's
Pussy
cool.
Willows and Royal Turns and us.
Nice.
I just got to play with Moses, Mo at. We did a Toys for Tots with him
Oh.
at Christmas time.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That was kind of cool.
At 37 Main.
At
in
37
Buford?
man. Yeah, that was the second time actually that we've played with him. Yeah,
I love that guy. He's
Yeah.
such a nice,
Yeah.
awesome dude.
So nice.
You
Yeah.
meet these guys. You know, I've actually opened for Mother's Finest
Yeah.
and a couple of times actually
Yeah.
back in the day, and you meet these guys and they're just so humble.
Mhm.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
they could be arrogant. They're just doing really what we're doing. They're just
Yeah.
playing their passion, and they just happen to be around longer than us.
Yeah.
But about your dad and his original project, hey, we'd love to have him on after we get through this thing leading up to the Atlanta Music Showcase, March 12th at the 10 High in Virginia Highlands. We'd love to talk to him.
Yeah, if you can get a hold of him up there in the mountains, I need
Yeah.
to get him down here.
That was a question I was
And-
going to have. You guys do your finish what you were thinking.
I was just saying that we need to get him down here, and he needs to come visit soon because I'm trying to get him to record,
Yeah.
record some songs down here with
Yeah.
me, and we'll put Tyler on bass and stuff, and I'll probably hop on drums, but yeah, he'll be down here. He'll be down here
Yeah.
again sooner than later.
So and I apologize for interrupting you. Where I was going with that was when you're recording, are you guys sending stuff back and forth to each other? Are you in the same room? Are you doing it live? Because if you're in the mountains, it's hard to get, any kind of signal from here to there.
Yeah. And how do you rehearse if you've got members in different states?
We all know the song so well. Everybody has to put in their part. They have to practice on their own time.
Yeah.
They just have to.
Woodshed,
And they have to sit in the room and just put the headphones on, just play with the songs and just practice and practice and practice. And they get here and we'll rehearse once or twice and then we'll go do the show.
Yeah.
The drummer's brand new. He just learned all of our songs in a matter of weeks.
Nice.
Just like 4, 5, 6 weeks. He learned just our entire 3-hour long set.
Wow.
Wow. So that was going to be one of my questions is how much material do you have? How long a show can you do? And, then I want to talk about a little bit about the recording process, how you go from an idea to getting it to what we are about to hear.
Oh geez.
Practicing, the guys live out of state.
Oh yeah, they wait, didn't we just answer that question?
Yeah.
Are you talking more about like how we write and record together?
Yeah. How do you write and record? Does somebody say, "Hey, I got an idea"? I send you a voice memo on from my phone.
Oh yeah.
I do a lot of voice memos personally.
Well, all these songs are old songs, and everyone was living down here at the time, and we have put in the work, like tons and tons of work, rehearsing like 8 hours a day, rehearsing, 3 days a week, and we've been playing these songs for a few years, so everybody just knows them so well. As far as writing new material, we haven't conquered that yet because we're getting the old songs released. And then it's going to be a whole new venture writing and recording, whatever new stuff that we do.
That makes sense. And we
Yeah.
kind of threw you off there with that question.
Yeah.
And you've already answered it several times
Yeah.
with changing
I-
genres
yeah.
and going a different direction.
I gave you. I have ADD, so I gave you 6 questions at once. But when you say you guys rehearse, is it the kind of thing where you go down to and rent a rehearsal space, or do you have a rehearsal space? Where are you located in Atlanta?
Sitting in the rehearsal space right now.
Nice. And how do your neighbors like this?
They love it.
They put up with it.
They sit out there. They're like, there's got these old ladies out there, and they're like, we've been listening to your music, and it's just so lovely.
Yeah, bless your heart,
Yeah.
right? If they give you a
Yeah.
bless your heart, then you're
Groupies.
not really sure what's going on there.
Yeah.
When you guys do rehearsals, you can kind of see this. It's the studio we rehearse in, and we do everything with kind of in ears, and we can do literally a silent rehearsal, which we just finished one up before the show here. Do you guys use live amps, live acoustic drums? What are you guys using?
Yeah, it's just a traditional setup, you know. We got some PA speakers in here. We got 2 of them. We got 2 mains, drum set, guitar amps, bass cab, vocal
No
mic.
tracks. It's just
Yeah.
everybody's old school,
Yep,
Let's play this.
cool,
play the song.
raw, straight up rock and roll band.
Yeah, that's right.
When you do record, are you recording like again in that room? Are you what are you using to record if you're putting some ideas down?
We record here in this room. It's kind of funny because we recorded a bunch of songs in like 3 different houses that we had to move from, like
Right.
just jumping house to house to house. So like we try to maintain consistency in the recordings, but every house sounds different
Sure.
when we're recording. And those 2 songs that I sent you 1 or 2, I can't remember what I sent you, but anyway, I think I sent you 2. One of them was recorded in a different house, and the other one was recorded in another house, and they got different sounds to them. But yeah,
Well, let's check out Dark Prince. Let's check out Dark Prince. Will you be playing this on the 12th?
yep, we'll be playing that on the 12th. We just shot a music video to
Ah.
that song, so when we release that song, there'll be a music video that comes with it.
That's cool. Let's talk about that when we get done.
Yeah, let's play the song, and then we're gonna play the song, and then we'll talk about the process of making videos, and go from there.
Cool.
Take a break from the love that's lost and dead. Baby, take your head down. You've been taken in hand. And anything to get my mind off me and put my mind on you. And anything to keep from coming unglued. The dark prince made you the fool. It's a thought with your mind to take the eyes from the living end. How you feel about that? It's your girl in the back with sex appeal. She been giving in. How you feel about that? How you feel about that, baby? How you feel about that? And some say you just ain't been doing right. And how you feel about that? Maybe take the fall. It could be a subtle ride down. I wanna take your eyes out and break you down. Become broken at the feet of the Almighty. 'Cause in a whisper, we're so concealed in a bright hue. The dark prince is speaking to you. It's a thought with your mind to take the eyes from the living end. How you feel about that?
I love the sound of that.
Dude, that is out freaking standing.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, love the falsetto that you're going to.
Dude, we
during
both
the
looked at
verses.
each other
Yeah.
and went, wow.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. And that was self-produced.
Yeah,
Man,
we
the drums are
recorded it
freaking
ourselves, mixed
amazing.
it ourselves, and mastered it ourselves.
Nice,
Did everything.
Well done.
nice.
Damn.
So that guys, that's the Dark Prince from Cure My Enemy. They're going to be going on at 7:20. Don't show up at 7:25. Get there at 7:20 at the 10 High on the 12th. That's next Sunday, March 12th.
Did I ask you if you had management or if you had anybody booking you yet?
We don't have it's just all us, man. Yeah. We
Yeah.
don't.
Isn't that fun?
So do you have a website? What is
what is
are
your
your
website?
socials like?
We don't have a website. We have an Instagram and we have a Facebook and we have a YouTube channel.
Okay.
But yeah, it's it's that's all. We did the website thing for a while, but didn't get a whole lot of traffic on there, and
That's
found
what
out
my
the most traffic
next
comes
question.
from-
Yeah. Are you getting traffic
Yeah.
on anything and like any of the other?
Oh yeah, there's a lot more traffic on social
Okay.
media.
I was going to say, because I mean, it's
Oh,
so
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so then what do you guys have what do you have planned? You said you had just done a music video for this song. Dark Prince, who is it? Is it you? Is it what's the story behind the song, and tell me about the video production.
The Dark Prince is the devil.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
And I wrote that song after I moved down here. I was didn't know anyone. I was living out of my truck. This woman was nice enough to let me stay with her, and she had some depressive tendencies, and she shot herself.
Oh my goodness.
And I wrote a song about it, and that's what that song is about.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and it, I have a fairly spiritual background, and a lot of things I think about is like what, I don't know, what drives a person to that point of
Yeah.
doing something like that, and so I wrote the Dark Prince as this influence. The chorus is it's a thought with a mind to take the eyes from from the living, and how do you feel about that? It's just like trying to bring truth, like this is a destructive thing that's taking you down, and let's get it out in the open and acknowledge it and talk about it. I think we live in a society where everybody tries to shove stuff like that down, and I'm like, nah, man, let's bring it out in the open. Let's bring the ugly out in the open. Let's let it show its face. I mean, we tried to write a pretty song around it, but the song might be pretty, but the idea is gruesome.
Right.
Well, that's one thing I know. I was listening to it. It wasn't. There's nothing bubblegum, candy, pop about it. Like
Yeah.
it felt like it was. It was about something meaningful and heavy.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So that's so. What are you doing on the video for that?
Well, Gunny, Michael Gunny.
Yes, I know Gunny.
He was the Dark Prince in the video.
Oh, Gunny's awesome. I'm
Yeah,
actually
we
going to have
just-
him on too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy's awesome. He was the Dark Prince in the video. He dressed up. We had a body painter, and we dressed him up like the devil, not like red horns and a cape, but like a shadowy black demon, and the music video was three different people, three different actors, and they all had kind of a backstory. And we rented out this big cathedral down in the city, this big, beautiful cathedral with all this awesome ceiling and woodwork and all this stuff. And the band set up and played, and the band was playing from the pulpit. And as the song progressed, these people walked down the aisle and sat in the church pews. And as they sat down, they were acting out their troubles in life and their insecurities and their depression. And each time the Dark Prince, Gunny,
Yeah.
would show up and be the influence, this horrible, dark influence around them. and nobody knows what happens to those people who
Wow.
were in the video, but either something good happens or a tragedy happens. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Super cool.
That is really cool.
That's
So
really cool.
that, and again, that's why we're doing the podcast, because um, we say original music as you know, that's what we do, but we're really artists creating this sonic canvas that have stories, that have messages behind a certain song. I likely would have never pulled all of that out of just listening to the song. I was enamored by
Well,
your
that's the thing. A lot of people
falsetto.
wouldn't.
You know, I was enamored by the
A
falsetto.
lot of people wouldn't. Like my wife would listen to that song and go, "Wow, that's such a great song." Oh,
Yeah.
let me tell you about it. She'd
Yeah.
go, "Wow, I didn't realize it was that dark." You know,
Yeah.
but that's the thing. That's the good. That's
Yeah.
the beauty of music, and it is art, and
But
you
this,
can put video with it.
yeah,
It is-
that's what this I want this platform to be, is for artists to come on and talk about a message that they may have in a song, or
yeah.
you know, that's what interests me. Tell me what were you thinking when you
Yeah.
wrote this song or that song, and I
Mhm.
think that the you know the general listener, you were talking earlier about um, changing your sound to a more modern sound, and polyphia and stuff like that, and man, I'd stay right where you are. Just
I'm telling you,
keep
you've
doing
got
wh-
that one nailed.
Just keep
It's
doing what
such
you're
a good
doing.
song. I can't wait to hear more.
Yeah.
Of
and
that.
see
Yeah.
it live.
You say you had did you say you had about 3 hours worth of music, or
Yeah.
am I hearing just
Well,
remembering something?
original music, we probably have about an hour and a half.
Okay.
Maybe could squeeze 2 hours if we took a long
To
break
do a live show? Okay.
Yeah.
to do a live show with original music. But we have some cover songs that stretches it to 3 hours.
Do you guys play around town as a cover band anywhere, or do you do any
We
of that?
have, yeah, we have in the past. It's usually like biker bars and stuff, and we usually have to completely change
Yeah.
everything and like not be Cure My Enemy to
Yeah.
appeal
What do you go by?
to the bars. Huh?
What do you go by? That was my
Do you change the name?
We did for a minute. We went by Red Horse.
Okay.
It was all the same guys playing the same stuff, but
Yeah.
we started going by Red Horse for a little bit, and then some people started calling us Cure My Enemy, even though we weren't playing any Cure My Enemy songs. And
Mhm.
we usually only do cover gigs when they specifically call us and ask us to do
Yeah.
this. Like, hey, we really like you guys. Will you come play this thing for
man.
us?
That's
And we're like,
never happened to me. Well, I guess it has, but
Yeah. Well, as far as the you know, this you were talking about with polyphia, sometimes it's over. I look at things like that as over the head of the general listener. Yeah,
Mhm.
me as a guitar player, I can nerd out and listen to something in 7/8, or odd time signatures and all these crazy things. But like you were saying about, you got to play to the crowd, or you can't be intellectually playing music up here in a location that your listener musical IQ level is.
well, they're just not paying
Right.
attention.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I said listenable, because your audience is smart. I think the
Mhm.
audience is smarter than the musicians give them credit for, because they might not know how or why something sounds good, but they know what sounds good, whether it's complex or whether it's simple, whether it's jazz or whether it's pop. And whatever your demographic is, your audience, they know what sounds good. Now, there's two ways you can go. You can go the blaze a new trail way, and you have that audience that wants to hear that. And then you have the safe side where you play covers, and your audience wants to hear stuff that they've heard before. You can't have both. You got to choose one or the other.
Yeah.
And one side is not going to like you very much, and the other side is going to love what you're doing. But as long as you pick a side and be listenable in your genre and in your demographic, I think it can work with anything. whether it's complicated or simple stuff.
Yeah, I think the bottom line is it's just got to be good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's got to be pro.
Well, that was a good point because there's always those songs if you're doing a cover gig where you've got the crowd that, watching you and they're in your hands and they're on the dance floor, and all of a sudden you'll pick one and it's just a stinker, and then it clears
Yeah.
the dance floor. And it's-
Yeah.
I got a funny story. We've been booed off a stage a couple times,
Nice.
and
good because that's one
Nice.
of my questions.
I like that. Yeah.
yeah. So Tyler was with us. This was before Cure My Enemy, but this was up in Virginia at the Eagles Club.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, you remember the Eagles
Remember the
Club?
Eagles Club.
What year? What year is this?
Oh, this was 20.
2010, 11, 12.
Yeah, maybe something like that. And we were in a band called The Nightlife. We were doing like,
Yeah.
dance stuff. We were really influenced by the whole dubstep movement and all that junk. And
Mhm.
so we went up there, and this woman at the Eagles Club was pretty progressive who booked us. And she was like, "We want a new sound at the Eagles Club, and we like you guys, and we want y'all to come play." And we went to go play. And it was me and my brother and Tyler. And they started booing every song that we were doing. We were playing some original music.
Right.
And then my dad was there because he was helping, bring the PA and being supportive and all that. And we get done with the first set, and we were like, "What do we do? They hate us here. They hate us." And so we go and ask our dad. It's like, "Dad, will you save the show and come and just finish out? Just do the rest of the show, and we'll back you up. We'll back you." And so he gets up and he plays, all his blues stuff, and they
Love it. Right.
Oh, they love it,
yeah.
which is awesome. My dad is really good player, and if you heard him, you'd be like, "This guy's really cool."
Yeah.
But he gets up there and he does all this blues stuff, and we're backing him up, and they're out there drinking and partying and dancing, and I hear this one guy say, "Well, this band's way better than the last band." It was the same band.
Damn band.
Yeah. Yeah. That painted a picture in my mind of the original Blues Brothers movie when they have to play behind the chicken wire so that the beer
Yeah.
bottles
Yeah.
and tomatoes don't
Yeah.
hit them.
That's like a Roadhouse.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a great story. I mean, you do know how blessed you are
Yeah.
to have the musical legacy with your dad,
Oh, yeah.
stories like that with your dad.
What's his
All right.
name again?
Hmm?
What is your dad's name again?
His name is Curtis Coates.
Curtis
His
Coates.
band goes by CC Coates.
CC Codes.
Yeah, I love that.
And I know Ray hates when I ask this question, but I'm going to ask anyway. Cole, how old are you?
Me?
Yeah.
How old are you? Go first.
Both 31.
Tyler,
both
you're both 31? All right.
Yeah.
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 I won't say my age because he doesn't like it when I say that either.
Yeah,
So.
we're a little longer in the tooth than you guys,
Well,
and have been
yeah.
doing this maybe.
I'm always interested because of the music I'm hearing. Like your sound sounds way more wise than your age, if that makes any
Oh.
sense.
Thanks, man.
You know what I mean? You're a born musician.
Yeah, and it also seems like to me that your heart and passion and soul needs to write and play and perform your artwork. And
Yeah.
and playing cover gigs is what we all kind of end up having to do if we want to
Mhm.
make money. You know.
Yeah.
Well, if you want,
Well,
we're
we,
all
we
kinda-
threw the making money thing out the window.
So did we.
try to work hard at what we do, but you do need money to progress. The music video was, a few grand,
Mhm.
and publishing and doing all this stuff costs money. And, if you want to tour, you got to have a vehicle to tour
Yep.
in. That costs money. I got fed up when I first moved down here, trying to have work and pay the rent. And so I started a business to fund, to live comfortably and fund the band and just do what we need to do. 'Cause I got sick of being like, "Oh geez, we can't release these songs, or we can't do this, or we can't live our dream because we don't have any money and we don't have anybody who wants to give us money." So, and we don't have anybody who wants to get behind the band or help or do this. So we are going to have to be fully self-sufficient and figure out how to do it. And so I started a business a year ago to be able to pay for things like this.
What do you
Sure,
do? What's
sure.
your business?
Yeah.
Well, I followed in my dad's footsteps. He's a artist blacksmith.
Oh,
wow.
metalwork.
And
Yeah, nice.
yeah, metalwork. And I have my welding certifications and whatnot, but and I used to do fabrication.
Yeah.
But I started a blacksmith shop. So I do blacksmith work, like ornamental stuff, also make knives. I do sculpture.
So you're still doing
Yeah,
it in the art world.
Yeah,
That-
it's still
that's-
creative. Yeah.
It's
I'm
still
fourth-
creative. Yeah.
I'm for
Yeah. It's pretty cool. I just did a job with Jason Dozer, the mic stand guy.
Yeah.
You know him?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Good friends
we
with
did
Jason.
Brantley Gilbert's mic stand together. He needed a snake wrapping around the mic
Right.
stand, and I forged a rattlesnake striking, and then he he made the mic stand and made it all cool looking and machined all the parts and stuff, and so we
That's
kind of
really
collaborated
cool.
on that. And so stuff like that, which when I first started this business, I was like, oh no, like at first I was like, well, I'll just do some welding on the side and some fabrication, but then it started being soul sucking and I started doing art. And then when I started turning it into art and doing the blacksmith side of things, I started feeling like I was falling into the musician trap again. I was like, oh no, not another job trying to be an artist.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
So-
that
Well,
makes sense.
I'm fourth generation sheet metal guy. My dad was a fabricator, and I went from doing duct work to doing, building the actual griddles in the In-N-Out burgers in California, where $4,000 griddles, where we're MIG
wow.
and TIG and doing all the welding and
Yeah.
everything. But
Mhm.
I'd have been like you had I not had his direction and been like, oh, no, I'm building stuff, looking that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That looks cool and selling it here or there or whatever. 'Cause,
We always want to get artsy fartsy.
yeah,
don't
I
we?
mean, it's just what it's
Yeah.
in our blood. It's like it's what everybody that we've been doing this has been telling us. This isn't something that we've chosen to do. It's chosen us.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And if you don't do it, you'll explode.
That's right.
Yeah,
It's
or-
truth.
or worse, like your story that you were telling earlier.
Mhm.
When you guys are getting ready to do a show, like I have a thing, like it's game day, it's gig day, and
Mhm.
I've got a checklist of I got to get my guitars, I got to make sure I'm gonna put new strings on this guitar, that's got to be tuned to this is
Yeah.
everything is like a checklist. I'm OCD when I prepare for a show.
Right.
And preparing for this thing is the same way. Do you have any game day rituals or any kind of superstitious things that you do to prepare for a show?
What do you do?
I get there early.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. I make sure I have all my stuff packed. Get there like at least a half hour early, an hour early if I can. That's about it for me. I don't know. You guys seem to barely show up on time.
Oh, it's mainly because I can't find my keys.
Yeah, I can't find the key.
There have been a couple of times where I have almost not made it because I can't find my keys.
Yeah. I've been there, done that.
That's an easy solution
Yeah.
to like have a key drop at your
Wallet.
house,
Yeah.
key
Yeah.
drop. But
Yeah.
do you do anything with your gear? Like I have a just this fear of, I've got my main guitar, I've got a backup for that main guitar and that tuning, and I have another guitar and I have a backup for that one. I just have this fear of a gear failure.
Man, my dad gave me a guitar when I was 6 years old. That's the only guitar I play. That's the only guitar I own. That's all I bring to the gig.
And is that
And-
a Strat? I remember you playing a Strat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was a Strat. It's this one.
Let's see that bad boy.
The keeping it simple, stupid theory.
Okay,
That's
that
the
looks-
best.
That looks like a '90s era bridge.
That's exact. Well, I replaced
Okay,
replaced
saddles.
everything. This is new. All these are new. I put a floating bridge on it and put a big block in there, and I
Okay.
stripped it out and redid all the stuff. Put all gold hardware. I got gold jumbo frets on here.
That's a
and
cool guitar right there.
Yeah, and so this is an old Mexican Strat. My dad paid
Yep.
probably in the '90s about $600 for it, and
Yep.
And he gave it to me as my first guitar, and I gutted it and put a cool pick guard on it and put gold hardware. And I love the tone. I
Yeah.
love this whole Stevie Ray Vaughan, John Mayer
Yeah.
type of tone. And this is what it sounds like. And it has the sound I like. It plays the way that I like. And I'm not a gearhead, man. I'm not a gearhead,
Yeah.
but I love this guitar, and it's all I bring. It's all I have. And if I drop the guitar off stage and break the neck in half, then I guess I'm going to have to ask my brother for a backup because he brings extras.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what type of amp are you running? And are you a tube screamer guy? What kind of distortions? What's your pedal setup?
Most of my pedal setup is for tone shaping. I don't use a whole lot of effects. But I got a tube screamer on there that I use for tone. Everything that I have pedal wise is just I turn it on, leave it on for the entire show.
Wow.
I got a couple. I got an overdrive pedal, Fender. Their new overdrive pedal that they came out with. This blue. What's the name of that pedal? I can't remember. But and then I got a tube screamer, and then I got another compression pedal, and that's all I have. And I'm running a EVH 5150.
Oh wow. Is that a combo or a half stack?
That is a half stack.
Wow.
But it's got it's a tiny little. I mean, it's not like the traditional half stack. It's got a separate 50-watt head with EL 34 tubes in it.
Yep.
And then it has a short, tiny little super manageable cab with two 10-inch speakers in it.
Wow.
And,
So it does. So it's a 210 speaker cabinet. Is the head the same width? Is it a matched set? Is it
yeah, it's a match set.
nice?
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
didn't know.
Oh, so it was like a mini stack.
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know they had that.
50-watt
Yeah.
210.
Okay. I knew they had the head. I didn't know they had a cabinet that matched the width of the
Yeah.
actual head.
Yeah,
Right.
and it's nice because it's light. It looks, it's about the size of a Fender DeVille or something or
Sure.
or whatever or a twin, and it's that size, but you get the half stack sound and really nice tone, and I love it, man. It's my brother plays a Vox
AC30.
AC30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has he got an
Mhm.
original, an actual British one, or is he like the rest of us have to have the Asian one? We'll just say.
Yeah, he's got that one.
Yeah.
That's what he's got. But
Yeah.
What about Tyler back there? I know since I'm the other guy in the rhythm section in our band, and your drummer's not there, so I'm going to ask you what's your setup?
Yeah, I'm playing a Sound Gear 5-string bass, and I've
Yeah.
got a custom stack with a 210 and a 15 on the floor, and it's a nice little tube preamp on it. It sounds pretty sweet.
That's nice. So
I'm running through a pedal. I pretty much just use like a Sans amp,
right,
and that pretty much covers it.
that's what you want. Easy, easy is the way to go. It's funny because the band that Ray and I we're kind of in two different bands together, and I'm in another band, and I tour with the National as a stage manager, but I haven't done that in a while. But it's funny. One of my rigs is the big rack with, 8 all the way to 18, and
oh, wow.
way too many drums, way too many cymbals.
Yeah.
But that's what this progressive music that we're doing kind of calls for. And then
Yeah.
the other band that we're in, I have a kick, snare, tom. 2 crashes, I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
kind of how I like it for that. I wish both of the bands were that way, but they're not. But that's what makes it kind of fun, and different. If they were both the same, I probably wouldn't do them both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. It's cool that you can shape your gear and your sound around the project that you're in.
Definitely.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, some things different, like the Giza is gone that you were just talking about.
No,
Yeah.
that's not the band I was talking about.
Oh, you weren't? Okay. Well,
Yeah, so-
Giza is gone that we do is all instrumental,
Oh,
kind of
wow.
a progressive type of thing. It's synced up to video, and I'm running a Kemper, and it requires different.
It's the big
stuff.
production show
Yeah.
with all the
Oh, wow.
smoke and mirrors and
Yeah.
lights and lasers and
And that's why we have all the TVs, because it's all the gear that we need to do that show, and
Yeah.
it's difficult because how do you book an original band gig with no lead singer,
right.
that
just
run.
to make it even harder.
Yeah, to make it harder. Yeah. So,
But we do have a couple of songs where we bring a singer up,
Yeah.
a couple times in the night. So, and those are covers, which
Yeah, we do a couple of covers, but that's all I can do in one night. But this all happened to me due to COVID. When the lockdown happened, I don't know about you guys, but I don't do well with being A, told what to do, and then B, like, all right, you can't even go outside. We stores weren't even taking cash. It was so weird.
Yeah.
How did you guys deal with all that and get through all that?
I bought a bass boat and went fishing.
Attaboy.
That's what I'm
That's
talking
a
about.
brilliant idea.
What'd you do?
Yeah.
You got into beat making, producing
yeah,
during
I
that
couldn't
time.
do gigs, so I started learning how to produce and make beats, try to start a beat store. Pretty much just did that all the time, and I was essential, so I was dropping food off to people, so my life didn't really change too much other than not playing gigs and going out to see other bands.
Yeah. That's interesting that you said the word I was essential.
That
Yeah,
threw me
so
off
far.
for a second.
Yeah.
I mean, you were literally talking about beats. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
The beats weren't essential.
No, not Beats, Beats, Beats.
Okay.
Yeah, no. He was delivering food, but they weren't beats.
Okay. Just making sure I'm not sitting over here
Probably
going, what
delivered
am I
good beats at
thinking?
some point.
But yeah, it was interesting though to be deemed essential or non-essential.
Yeah.
And some people worked all the way through it, like you, Tyler. That
Yeah, it was weird.
it was just such a weird time. But that's when I just put my head down and got creative. Like, all right, well, I've got time that I never had to be
Yeah.
creative, and so
Right.
that's what I did during that whole time.
Did your dad ever
Yeah.
tell you about how there used to be bands that opened up for bands and that's how they got gigs being 31?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like young Van Halen opening for Journey
Right.
back in '78.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, gee, how do you get that?
Well, exactly. Like we were talking
Yeah.
about opening for nationals and stuff.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
like, I've got a buddy of mine who's in a band called Whiskey Stills and Mash.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
you know Daryl Witt?
I don't know them, but I know of the band.
Okay. So
Yeah.
they open up for like Molly Hatchet and
Mhm. Yeah.
38
Yeah.
Special, that
Southern Rock.
Southern
Well,
Rock. So, but it's still
Yeah.
really freaking hard to get,
It is so hard. We're late bloomers because we lived in an area that was I don't know if you'd call it, I guess it was impoverished for America.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Yeah. I mean, the average yearly income up there in Virginia where we grew up was $18,000 a year.
wow.
That was the household average income.
Is that
up
right?
there.
And where was
job.
this in Virginia? Where?
Stewart, Virginia.
Stewart,
yeah.
Virginia. I'm
Stewart,
gonna look it up.
Virginia. Yeah, you can look up Martinsville.
I know
which is in
Martinsville.
Yeah, I
Georgia.
know Martinsville.
Yeah,
I'm a race
Martinsville.
fan, so I know exactly.
Yeah,
where
that's
Martinsville-
Yeah, Martinsville Speedway's over there. Yeah, they're crazy. But we came down here in pursuit of a
Mhm.
life. I mean, I'm a country guy. To the core,
Mhm.
and I got to be able to shoot my gun and ride my dirt bike and
Yep.
my things like that. But
We're birds of a feather, brother.
Yeah. Me
Yeah.
Too. Yeah.
and we came down here in pursuit of a life, and it took some time to get established. I remember getting our first gig down here. I mean, it was weird. It was like I was 14 again or something, just playing for the first time and getting to know people, and
Yeah.
open mics saved our life. We'd show up and play an open mic, and I'd go talk to the manager. Where's the manager at? Can I talk to him? Can I meet him?
Yeah.
And beg for a gig and ask for a gig and play Battle of the Bands. That was also a lifesaver. And then, but we were late bloomers down here, man, and that's probably why, like, we're 30, and we're just now starting to kind of get to a place like, oh, we can release music now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, we can fund ourselves. We have jobs now.
Yeah.
We have a little bit of income coming in. Now we can do some stuff.
Mhm.
It took 6 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
longer. And a lot of failure and sleeping out of your vehicle and trying to find a house and all kind of stuff, all kind of little stuff that if you don't have, you just can't do anything.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well,
You know,
yeah.
you need a vehicle, you need a job,
Yeah.
you need a place to live.
Yeah.
You need, you know, all that stuff. But yeah, we came down here and put this band together.
I know
and
what
did
you
this
mean,
thing.
brother. I'm an old guy, and if my wife wasn't as, you know, patient and forgiving as she is, you know, we've been married 16 years now, and I had nothing when we met, basically, you know, because it was just you stay the course when you're a musician. It's like, what else do you
Yeah.
do? You do construction on the side or whatever it is you can find to just to get, you know, food in your belly and you
Yeah.
know,
Fresh
whatever
drumsticks or
whatever
fresh pack of strings.
whatever other habits that you shouldn't have had that you had. You
Yeah,
know,
you
it's,
have
you
to-
know,
you
you
have
got to
to-
keep yourself straight. First of all, if you can do that, that's, you know, a whole different
Yeah.
story. But
Oh,
yeah,
Well, that 6-year period that you were just talking about, I think
Yeah.
that is the crucial time when most give up and quit.
Yeah.
And the persistence is, I did the exact same thing that you're talking about. I moved down here in 1995 for the summer to give it a go in the music scene here in Atlanta. And I never left, you know, once I came down. And I did the same thing. I came down from the mountains. It's like, you know, let's go to a big pond, a really big pond. And there's a music scene there. Let's do it. Um,
Mhm.
and but the whole time, like you're saying, is I ended up realizing that, you know what, if I want nice guitars, if I want fresh strings on my guitars when I need them, I'm gonna have a job, you know. So you just have to
Yeah.
balance that work life creation model.
Yeah, and it can be frustrating, but you know, I mean, if you have a goal, which it's very important to have specific goals, not just like I want to be a musician,
Mhm.
mom, but like you got to have a goal, have a trajectory, and then when you go get a job, it doesn't ruin your life as an artist the way that you think it is because, you know, when you go to work and someone asks you, "What are you doing?" You say, being a musician. I'm playing music. No, you're not. You're welding. I'm like, well, I'm welding because that enables me to be a musician,
Right.
you know? And
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, that's just what it does.
Now, another side thing he mentioned it a second ago about, you know, being married and having a support system, you know,
Uh-huh.
somebody to help.
Yeah.
Are you guys married?
No.
Okay.
Everybody's single.
All right. So you guys are, you know, when you do go down the path, that you have to be honest. Hey, I am an artist. I am going to be in the lab creating music many nights. You know, if you're not down, you know, a lot of relationships, they like the idea of having a musician as a boyfriend but they
Mhm.
don't understand that, you know, the amount of time that you,
wait a minute. I thought you were a rock star. What?
yeah,
That-
yeah,
Yeah.
All rock stars
Yeah.
have 3 Corvettes in their garage. What happened?
yeah.
What-
I mean, they like the idea of it until they have to live it, and then
Yeah.
what do you mean you're going to be out until 2 a.m?
Exactly.
Yeah.
What do you mean you're
Yeah.
going to be out until 3?
What do you mean you're playing on Valentine's Day and Christmas
Yeah.
Eve?
Boom.
You know?
Yeah,
Yep. Thanksgiving. You'll be where on Thanksgiving?
yeah,
I did that one year, and yeah, it didn't go well.
yeah.
I still hear about it.
Yeah, Thanksgiving gigs. Yeah, I would be silly enough personally to book something like that because
Well, I didn't book it, but
I don't say no, you know. But
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, whoever you're with has to understand that though. Like,
yeah, and she
You
did
know.
actually. She
Right.
wasn't happy,
Yeah.
but you know,
yeah, yeah, that compromise will get you, man. It'll get you sometimes. I'm not saying that that's bad, and that we shouldn't compromise, but you know, like you said, I think it is really important that whoever you're with is they understand the type of person that you are, and being with an artist, like any type of artistic person, whether you're a painter or a blacksmith or a you know or a musician or whatever it is. You got to have someone that lets you do your art. They got to let you go crazy a little bit. They got to let you be that artistic, you know, mad scientist, workaholic artist guy,
Mhm.
you know, and that's just what you are. And, you know, it's funny because a lot of times I tell people, I'm like, artists, man, if you're not careful, if they don't have a fine line, they'll burn the house down with their emotions, because it's weird, because you get on stage and people pay you money to have emotions on a stage in front of everyone.
Right.
That's a great
Yeah.
point.
And so you it gets in you, man. You start living it, and then your home life starts being it, and then you're
Mhm.
like, you start letting loose. I'm sure, like, as a person matures, part of maturity is learning how to compartmentalize those emotions and handle your life accordingly, like a, like a, like a mature, beautiful, evolved adult. But still, you got to definitely have somebody that lets you do that.
Yeah.
you know
Yeah, and I think that as artists, if you go a period of time and you don't have a stage to get on to release those emotions,
hmm
then you can have other issues. So that's what I find with some of the stuff that I'm doing is um, it's getting harder and harder and harder to get a show, even though you're totally capable of doing the show, bringing a crowd. Because I'm not playing um, a Brian Adams, or I'm not a tribute band. It's getting harder and harder to get a stage to release those emotions, and that can be psychologically, for me anyway, a struggle.
As nervous as I get before playing, sometimes if someone told me that I shouldn't do it or can't do it, it would destroy me. It was, even though nervousness not might appear to be something negative, but it's not. And and then you have the struggle and all that stuff of being a musician and trying to get the gig and trying to this and that and promote the show, and then nervousness of playing. Like, I wouldn't trade that for anything. If somebody told me I couldn't do it, man, I'd freak out. I would be like,
No doubt.
yeah, I would
And there's a difference
feel
between nervousness and adrenaline. You get that adrenaline. then-
adrenaline, eagerness,
Yeah.
yeah, all that stuff.
Well, I think that whenever you have any of those emotions leading up to a show, it just means that you care. You give a rip about what you're about to. I would imagine, like, a chef that creates this beautiful plated meal that brings it out to the table and is just like, are they gonna like it? Are they gonna like it? Is it good? I know it's good, but do they like it? That's kind of
Mhm.
how it is for me leading up to shows. I hate being the guy that I got to make Facebook ads and reels and Instagram ads and all this kind of. I want to use this stuff here.
Mhm.
I didn't do this to be a marketing guy, but here I am.
He's turned into a pretty damn good one. And I'm definitely
Yeah,
not that
look
guy.
at you. You're doing it right now.
I
Yeah.
know. I
Yeah.
literally am. But
Yeah.
but that's kind of
I feel like he's talking to me right now.
yeah. But everybody in the band kind of has to do it. Now, who does all your socials, posts and that kind of stuff?
Kind of trade off a little bit.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Whoever's got the content on their phone.
yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't it
Yeah.
amazing that we have all of that content, a picture, a song, a logo? Here you go, boom, whoosh, it goes
Mhm.
off into space and ends up on my screens here.
Yeah.
It's amazing the technology that we have now.
Future's crazy, man.
Yeah, it's wild. We have made more advancements in the last 10, 15 years, 20 years than we have in the last 100 years. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's wild.
At the
Yeah.
same time that those advancements, let's talk about real quick, and then we're going to land this plane. Let's talk about streaming services where we host our music. So we spend all this time creating this art and writing the songs and recording the songs and all this stuff, and then we put them up on the internet. And when you put them up on the internet, there's not really, they want the music for free, essentially. Because if you're putting your music on Spotify, Spotify pays 0.00318 per stream. YouTube Music pays 0.002 cents per stream. And that's even only after I think if you have 1,000 subscribers on your YouTube channel. So the money's not there.
The whole point is you still have had to have been around for a long, long time to be making any money off of any of those.
Well, how do you make money with your music is where this question goes to, because it's
Right.
not streaming.
Right.
I mean, it seems to me like most of it's going to come from doing gigs and
Right.
touring,
That's it.
selling merch at the shows.
Yeah.
You're really just using your music as like an advertisement tool for your band to get people to buy tickets.
Sure.
That's what Moses Mo said too. He said that exact same thing. He's like, your band is not the music. Your band is just a tool. You know, the music is the product. The band is not the product, but you know, and the image is the product. But I had a friend of mine, Chris Hodges, who owns Floyd Fest in Virginia, which is a really awesome festival in the mountains with, you know, they've been going on for 10 years now.
Longer than that.
Longer than that, 15 years now.
Longer than that.
Anyway, they're a big festival on the East Coast, and and I sat down with him one time, and he was just like, man, you know, if you got good music and you know you hone your skill and this and that, he's like, it doesn't matter if you think someone's getting one over on you, getting your music for free or something. He's like, give it away. Just give everything you got, give yourself away, give the music away. You got some tickets, give those away. Tell, you know, you want to progress, you want to go play bigger shows, go to the promoter and tell them you'll play for free. It's no, you know, no skin off of their back. And it's just like, you know, just give it away, especially in the starting stages of everything. And he said, I built this entire festival based on that theory. And they got thousands and thousands of people that come to this festival. And now they're making real money, like real money now. But he said the first few years, you know, he gave it away, man, everything, you know, parking passes, whatever he had, and got people out. And he did it because, you know, how else are you going to get in front of people, especially if you don't have an audience? How are you going to build your audience when you don't have an audience? So just, you know, and as far
That's
as
the
like
magic question right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Building your audience.
Yeah. And as far as like streaming services and releasing music, I wish I was more versed in that stuff, but I'm not married to trying to make, trying to make a sustainable passive income off of any of that stuff. We don't have the support for it. You know, we don't have any sort of backing for it. All I want to do is get the music in front of people, and I will put it on any platform that makes them get it the easiest that they possibly can get it. And want them to hear it, man. I want them to hear the story. I want them to be moved. I want them to come to shows. I want them to tell me, you know, that song, I had someone in my life that hurt themselves and this and that. And this song, did something for me. And like, that's what I want. Yeah. I don't care about the money and the business model sucks to begin with. The business model is ridiculous. It's horrible. I don't know how we got to this point, because we're providing a service just like a plumber does. And if you have a venue that calls you or a bar that comes to you, it's like, we like to have live music in our venue. Then, okay, well, here's the service fee.
Yeah.
Like we don't operate that way.
Yeah.
I don't know how we got to that point, but that's just not how bands operate.
Well, they figured out that musicians, most of them don't have, super high paying jobs, and they want to play.
All the more reason to pay us.
We can get them for nothing. So yeah, it sucks, and it's definitely gone downhill. And
it's like, out of spite, I want there to be enough demand for us to where I can book the back of a Walmart. I can play a Walmart loading dock And
Yeah.
you'd be like, you know what? Nope, I'm not gonna play your nice, pretty venue with the blue lights. I'm gonna play this Denny's over here.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Do you remember when?
And
Yeah.
I'm gonna
do you
and
remember
I'm
when
gonna sell.
Jackal
I'm gonna
pulled into the front of a Kmart on a flatbed trailer and shot that video? Do you remember
No,
that?
I
Did you
know.
ever see that? Look
Yeah, I
up
think
Jackal
yeah.
on the back of a flatbed
Oh,
truck
that's
in in a Kmart parking lot.
Yeah.
I'd often thought this was back in the 90s when we were having these same discussions about our bands back then. It was a little different. That's when and this how we got here to answer that question is that was right around the era that Napster started. And everybody started with like, hey, MP3s for free, MP3s for free. And, the Metallica was all mad about it and all that. And now look at them, they're bought in too. But I often thought about, hey, let's get a semi and drive down 400 and during rush hour in the morning doing a show. And everybody thought I was nuts. But
Hey man, you got to be crazy.
yeah,
You got to be a little crazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, guys, man, I really appreciate you guys coming on.
Yeah.
Again, 7:20 p.m. at the 10 High on March 12th, which is a week from today. I know where I'm going to be. I'm going to come out and check you guys out again. And
I've heard some good music this week doing these podcasts with Ray, and
That's
you're
awesome.
definitely
That's cool.
up on the top of my list.
Oh, thank y'all.
Yeah.
before we go, tell everybody where to check out some of your blacksmith art.
Oh, you can find
Great
me on
question.
Instagram as Bezalel Metal Arts, and it's a weird word.
Spell that.
But BEZALEEL Metal Arts. I think I spelled that right.
Is that like
Confused.
Beelzebub?
No,
Oh, come on, Ray.
that's actually the guy in the Old Testament when the Jewish people came out of Israel and into the Holy Land. They built a temple in the Ark of the Covenant, and the metalsmith who was commissioned to build the Ark of the Covenant of God
Mhm.
for the Israelite people was Bezalel.
Oh,
That's super cool.
that is really cool. That's
Yeah.
and we should do a whole nother podcast on
should.
just spirituality and
Agree.
and
Yeah.
what all that means.
Agree.
But guys, thanks again, and
Yeah.
we will see you in a week, and let's do some shows together.
Nice
do it,
meeting you
man.
guys. Tyler back
Yeah.
there, all quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And hey, send some smoke signals or a carrier pigeon and tell your brother that we're looking forward to the show.
Yeah.
I will, man. I will.
All right, guys.
Thank y'all.
Thanks. Bye.
Take care.
You're watching the Original Music Atlanta podcast.